over exam bribery as PLE kicks off. The 2025 primary leaving examinations, PLE, kicked off across Uganda under heightened security and vigilance from the Uganda National Examinations Board, and following the arrest of 3 suspects in Lira City for allegedly attempting to bribe an examination scout. According to the UNEP Principal Public Relations Officer, Jennifer Kalule Musamba, the suspects, a school director, a former teacher at the same school, and another teacher from a different school, were arrested after they allegedly tried to influence the scout assigned to supervise PLE in Oyam district. The 3 suspects were arrested at Garden Hotel in Lira City after attempting to offer a bribe of 1 million shillings to a UNEP scout in exchange for assistance during examinations, said Miss Kalule. Very interesting at that. But away from PLE, another story to look into as an update: Obama calls Mamdani praises campaign ahead of New York mayoral election. Former President Barack Obama called the New York mayoral candidate Zoran Mamdani and offered to be a sounding board if the 34-year-old frontrunner wins the election. He also praised Mamdani's campaign, and the call, first reported by New York Times, was confirmed by Mamdani's spokesperson. Mamdani, a Uganda-born state assembly member, has polled well ahead of his main rival, former Governor Andrew Cuomo, ahead of the November 4th general election. Cuomo is running as an independent after losing to Mamdani in the Democratic primary. And Guardian Angels founder Curtis Liwa is the Republican nominee. Welcome to Good Morning Uganda. My name is Julie F. Nantaba. And starting off with stories on the local scene, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has implored Ugandans to utilize NRM peace and security and development to better themselves from poverty. He says NRM's manifesto focuses on enhancing the implementation of peace, security and markets, among aspects, to ensure people's lives change for the better. This was during his courtesy visit to Magere Chito village, where he engaged with his supporters. During his visit to Magere Chito Wakiso district, President Museveni was welcomed by supporters, NRM flag bearers, who were chanting songs of praise in his support. Leaders in the area commended President Museveni for the developments in the country. President Museveni urged Magere residents to utilize the peace and security extended to the nation by the NRM government to change their social and economic well-being. Museveni says they should unite as Ugandans and desist from politics that seek to instill hate within the aspects of religion and tribe. He urged NRM leaders to be at the forefront in the fight against corruption. Other leaders during the president's visit to Magere also shared their thoughts on the incoming 2026 general elections. Well, now moving on, police in Kampala have arrested Ngobo Roni in Kalerwe for allegedly extorting between 2 million to 5 million from residents by claiming to be a Ministry of Lands employee. Kampala Metropolitan Police spokesperson Patrick Onyango said Ngobo convinced victims he could connect them to the State Minister for Lands, Dr. Mayanja Sam, to resolve land disputes. He faces 2 counts, money laundering and impersonation, and is currently detained at Central Police Station, Kampala. Dr. Sam Mayanja confirmed receiving multiple reports of scams in his name, warning the public that his office does not solicit money. He instructed police to arrest all individuals involved. Ngobo Roni had recently worked as an assistant in the office of the Senior Presidential Assistant for Special Duties, Fiona Barungi, who was also recently dismissed. Now, the Director NRM Mobilization, Dr. Rosemary Nansubuga-Seninde, has met NRM leaders from the Bugisu and Sebei sub-regions as part of preparations to receive President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. The meeting converged NRM district and sub-county chairpersons. The leaders said the new NRM mobilization strategy empowers local leaders to strengthen grassroots support for the party. This initiative has attracted large crowds. The Director NRM Mobilization, Dr. Rosemary Nansubuga-Seninde, urged party members to embrace the NRM's newly structured that utilizes 30 leaders per village committee. She warned against collaborating with members who contested as independents. Some aspirants who lost in the primaries highlighted reasons for standing as independents. Eastern Region NRM Vice Chairperson Echodo Martin urged all members to avoid divisions. And finally, Youth Initiative for Youth Action in collaboration with the National Curriculum Development Center Anti-Human Trafficking Life Skills into Uganda's national curriculum. Speaking during a one-day sensitization workshop in Kampala, curriculum specialists highlighted the importance of equipping students with knowledge and skills to resist trafficking. Director of NCDC, Dr. Grace Baguma, described human trafficking as a dehumanizing practice requiring collective action. She noted that the implementation of the new lower and upper secondary curriculum will help young people acquire practical skills to safeguard themselves. YIA coordinator Prosingovi identified poverty, unemployment and lack of information as major drivers of trafficking. East Africa records the highest human trafficking index in the continent, with forced labor, sex exploitation and child trafficking as primary concerns. Well, that brings us to the end of what we have on the local scene. Now, let's take a trip to what we have on the global scene. And we're starting off with sad news of an earthquake that struck northern Afghanistan near Mazar-e-Sharif on the country's largest cities around 8:30 GMT local time. The earthquake had a magnitude of 6.3 and a depth of 28 kilometers, according to the U.S. Geological Survey. The agency also warned of significant casualties and potentially widespread disaster. A Taliban spokesman in Balkh province, of which Mazar-Sharif is the capital, wrote on X that 4 people had died and many people are injured in Sholgara district. The BBC is unable to verify this figure independently. In an earlier post, Haji Zaid wrote that they had received reports of minor injuries and superficial damages from all districts of the province. Most of the injuries were caused by people falling from tall buildings, he wrote. Mazar-e-Sharif is home to more than 500,000 people. Many of the city's residents rushed to the streets when the earthquake struck, and they feared their houses would collapse, AFP reported. The Taliban spokesman in Balkh also posted a video on X appearing to show debris strewn across the ground at the Blue Mosque, a local landmark in Mazar-e-Sharif. The religious complex is believed to house the tomb of the first Shia Imam, a religious leader believed to hold divine knowledge. It's now a site where pilgrims gather to pray and celebrate religious events. Moving on, former President Barack Obama called New York City mayoral candidate Zoran Mamdani on Saturday, praising his campaign and offering to be a sounding board into the future. The private, roughly 13-minute phone call, which has not previously been reported, was described by 2 people who participated or were briefed immediately on what had been said. They spoke on the condition of anonymity to describe the private conversation. Mr. Obama said that he was invested in Mr. Mamdani's success beyond the election on Tuesday. They talked about the challenges of staffing a new administration and building an apparatus capable of delivering on Mr. Mamdani's agenda of affordability in the city, the people said. The former president's outreach on the eve of what has been a contentious election is notable given how divided the Democratic establishment has been over Mr. Mamdani and the role that Mr. Obama still plays in the party. Now onto the continent. The Netherlands has said it will return a stolen 3,500-year-old sculpture to Egypt. It is highly likely the stone head, dating from the time of the pharaohs, was plundered during the Arab Spring in either 2011 or 2012, according to the Dutch Information and Heritage Inspectorate. A decade later, it turned up at an Arts and Antiquities an arts and antiques fair in Maastricht, and following an anonymous tip-off, Dutch authorities determined it had been stolen and exported illegally. Dutch outgoing Prime Minister Dick Schoof made the pledge to hand it back as he attended the opening of the archaeological Grand Egyptian Museum in Giza this weekend. The Dutch government said the sculpture of a high-ranking official from the dynasty of Pharaoh Thutmose III is deeply meaningful to Egypt's identity. The statue had been offered up for sale at the European Fine Art Foundation Fair in 2022. The dealer voluntarily relinquished the sculpture after authorities had been tipped off about its illegal origin. The government said it is expected to hand the stone head over to the Egyptian ambassador to the Netherlands at the end of this year. The Netherlands is committed both nationally and internationally to ensuring the return of heritage to its original owners. All right, now let's have a look at what is in the press today, this morning, this Monday morning, the 3rd of October 2025. We do start off with the New Vision. More oil found in the Albertine region. That's the headline. 178 wells drilled at Tilenga, Kingfisher. Also still in the New Vision, a picture of President Museveni campaigning in Teso sub-region. And the New Vision has job opportunities in Mountains of the Moon University, Guarantee Trust Bank, Arua, Zombo, Kabarole, Nakaseke districts, CSI Business Center, etc. Opportunities for you to look into and grab yourself an opportunity of service to your nation, as well as opportunities of tenders in Norwegian Refugee Council, Uagnda Airlines, UNRWA, FAO, UBOS, UNEB, SAM, Iga Memorial College, etc. All those are opportunities to take part of. In other news, still in the New Vision, landslides, 24 feared dead in Elgon. Also, Kasese security heightened as probe into attacks starts. Now let's look at what we have in the Daily Monitor. The headline there, Wrath of Mother Nature. Flood of despair. Weeks of torrential rain and floods have seen Ugandans pay a heavy price, with the death toll from 4 instances of landslides in Sebei sub-region rising, and Kampala city business people counting losses. Missing 14, the number of people still missing since the Thursday and Friday night landslides. Number of deaths, 18, the death toll by press time from landslides in Kapchora, Queen and Buko districts. And when it comes to the Kampala mess, 72, the number of hours police have spent in downtown Kampala attempting to drain flood water from shops. Very sad indeed. And mobile money loans now surge to 3.5 trillion, matters business. Also, over 100 children given wrong deworming drug. That's a shock. Tanzania's opposition rejects Samia Suluhu's landslide election. Now looking at what the Lizard has to say, mobile money loans surge to 3.5 trillion. And he's asking the gains. That is the Lizard in the Daily Monitor. Finally, looking at the Daily Nation, Oburu, it's DP or nothing. That's the headline in the Daily Nation. From an exclusive interview with ODM interim leader Oburu Oginga, who has drawn a bold red line in Kenya's post-Raila Odinga's politics, declaring that the party will not settle for anything less than the deputy president's seat in 2027. And other news in this Kenyan paper, devastation as landslide death toll climbs to 26, facing the same issues definitely as Uganda. And the other story to look into, 1, 2, 3 Kenya's clean sweep at New York Marathon. And TZ elections, Chadema rejects poll results as Ruto is silent on vote questioned. All right, before we complete everything press, let's look at what we have in the Gazette as of the 31st day of October 2025. Table of contents there, but looking at the different notices to pay heed to. Be it known that on the 24th day of October 2025, Kabanzi Gerardi, an advocate of the High Court, has been appointed to be a commissioner for oaths under the above-mentioned act as for so long as he continues to practice as such advocate and commission is not revoked. This is under the hand of Chief Justice Alfonso Chigamoy Owunyidolo as of the 24th day of October 2025. Be it also known that on the 25th day of October 2025, Masiko Gerald, an advocate of the High Court, has been appointed to be a commissioner for oaths under the above-mentioned act for so long as, advocates. Be it known that on the 24th day of October 2025, Masiko Gerald, an advocate of the High Court, has been appointed to be commissioner for oaths under the above-mentioned act for so long as he continues to practice as such advocate and the commission is not revoked. Given under the hand of the Chief Justice Alfonso Chigamoy Owunyidolo as of the 24th day of October 2025. Also be it known that on the 24th day of October 2025, Sekanjako Abubakar, an advocate of the High Court, has been appointed to be a commissioner for oaths under the above-mentioned act for so long as he continues to practice as such advocate and the commission is not revoked. Given under the hand of the Chief Justice Alfonso Chigamoy Owunyidolo as of the 24th day of October 2025. Well, that's it from the dailies and the news and a news wrap of what's on the local scene, foreign scene, as well as the press. Time for a short break. Robert and I will be back. Robert will be joining me in the real. Number to save is 0709602590. For now, let's enjoy some music from CG. Komsa is the name of the song. Good morning. Good morning, welcoming you back from the weekend and welcoming you into the new week, a week that is exam week at the national level, as P7 candidates sit for their final primary exams. Started on Friday with a briefing session and going into today until tomorrow. So for all P7s that have made it to these days, congratulations to you. Meanwhile, 3 arrested over exam bribery as PLE kicks off. The 2025 primary leaving examinations, PLE, kicked off across Uganda under heightened security and vigilance from the Uganda National Examinations Board, and following the arrest of 3 suspects in Lira City for allegedly attempting to bribe an examination scout. According to the UNEP Principal Public Relations Officer, Jennifer Kalule Musamba, the suspects, a school director, a former teacher at the same school, and another teacher from a different school, were arrested after they allegedly tried to influence the scout assigned to supervise PLE in Oyam district. The 3 suspects were arrested at Garden Hotel in Lira City after attempting to offer a bribe of 1 million shillings to a UNEP scout in exchange for assistance during examinations, said Miss Kalule. Very interesting at that. But away from PLE, another story to look into as an update: Obama calls Mamdani praises campaign ahead of New York mayoral election. Former President Barack Obama called the New York mayoral candidate Zoran Mamdani and offered to be a sounding board if the 34-year-old frontrunner wins the election. He also praised Mamdani's campaign, and the call, first reported by New York Times, was confirmed by Mamdani's spokesperson. Mamdani, a Uganda-born state assembly member, has polled well ahead of his main rival, former Governor Andrew Cuomo, ahead of the November 4th general election. Cuomo is running as an independent after losing to Mamdani in the Democratic primary. And Guardian Angels founder Curtis Liwa is the Republican nominee. Welcome to Good Morning Uganda. My name is Julie F. Nantaba. And starting off with stories on the local scene, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has implored Ugandans to utilize NRM peace and security and development to better themselves from poverty. He says NRM's manifesto focuses on enhancing the implementation of peace, security and markets among aspects to ensure people's lives change for the better. This was during his courtesy visit to Magere Chito village, where he engaged with his supporters. During his visit to Magere Chito Wakiso district, President Museveni was welcomed by supporters. NRM
is going to drink this water. We strongly believe that it will only be through such constructive engagement that we'll be able to broaden our tax base and build our country together.
Buza Commissioner. Now you can get direct answers. Send your tax-related questions via WhatsApp or SMS to 0790-141-887 and the Commissioner General of URA, John Musinguzi, will personally address them. Tune in to UBC News Tonight every Monday and Wednesday for expert insights and clear explanations. Buza Commissioner.
Following our earlier communication regarding the technical challenge that affected the transmission of some free-to-air television channels, Uganda Broadcasting Corporation UBC wishes to provide the public with an update on the ongoing restoration efforts. Our engineering and technical teams have been working diligently to resolve the issue and restore normal transmission. While substantial progress has been made, the process has taken longer than initially anticipated due to the complexity of the fault. We assure our valued viewers and partners that full restoration remains our top priority and every necessary measure is being taken to ensure a stable and reliable signal across all affected platforms. In the meantime, we kindly advise viewers to rescan their TV sets to access the available channels. This will ensure that you can view the channels that are currently broadcasting without interruption. UBC sincerely apologizes for the inconvenience this disruption has caused and appreciates the continued patience and understanding of our audiences as we finalize the recovery process. Further updates will be provided through our official communication channels as progress continues. For additional information, please contact Public Relations Office, Uganda Broadcasting Corporation UBC. Email info@ubc.go.ug or +256 703 826 623.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight? Come and give it a try. Genshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules, plant extract, scientific ratio, take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning, eat twice a day, don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Genshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product. For more information, visit our website www.hgo.com or call 0800 335555.
Jugo.
Yo.
What you go? Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Haven't you heard of the Parish Development Model PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, Sebatia. It is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a portrait project, and now things are moving. Samaja.
Joko, I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The parish development model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better.
PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Good morning, Uganda. If you're just joining us, thank you so much for joining. This is Good Morning Uganda, and you're watching UBC TV. We come to you live from Nile Avenue. If you started the show with us, thank you. Always means a lot to start the day with you, and you making that choice to start your day with us. My name is Julie F. Nantaba. I have been joined by Robert Chirabo Nyonyitono, and this morning we are looking at, of course, the current weather and the rains and how they're affecting different people, especially those in the Elgon and Sebei regions. Now, recent reports from late October and early November confirmed that heavy rains have triggered devastating landslides in the region, particularly in the districts of Kapchora, Bukuo, and Queen, resulting in numerous deaths and the destruction of homes and infrastructure. The Kapchora Swam Road has been cut off, hampering rescue efforts. Now, looking at some of the statistics, we do have at least 9 killed in landslides as heavy rains affect Sebei region. 9 confirmed, and looking at the parts of Sebei through which the rain swept, and the worst hit areas are Tuikat in Kwen district and Chesoa in Bukuo district, where homes and farms were engulfed late Monday night. Rescue teams, supported by local residents, are still searching for survivors as persistent rainfall threatens further slides and slows emergency works. But also, the government, as we've seen in some of the stories that are in the dailies today, the government has asked people in these areas, affected areas, to vacate, or government will force them to vacate. And it's what we're looking at this morning, especially if you are from these areas and you, in one way or the other, have a way of watching TV or are able to catch us live via live stream. Would be nice to hear from you and to actually know that you're at least safe. 0709602592. Let's get into this conversation. Once again, good morning. Robert, good morning.
A lovely morning to you, Julie.
You are four-eyed.
Well, certain things happen, and when they happen, you know the battle I've been having all along to have these 4 eyes.
Yes.
So I was telling you, I will not. But finally, I had to give in and say, okay, if this will help me perform better, I have nothing to do. Now, first, it's very unfortunate that we've yet again lost lives. Many Ugandans, when we talk about the Elgon region or Sebei region, they remember the Bududa incident in 2010. That made so much of headlines. But thereafter, we've still had a number of incidents similar to this. Now, it's very unfortunate because this is a natural disaster. Of course, experts will give you reasons to why the situation is as of now and not as many decades before. Now, people losing lives on something that was predicted by science. You know, there are 2 predictions. In football, we have people who predict Arsenal is going to defeat Man U. That is common and usual. If Arsenal and Man U meet, definitely Arsenal will defeat Man U. But there are also those who guess certain teams. You just guess and you have luck. But now, where there is scientific evidence, things are different, Judy.
Right.
We have a whole department of meteorology. Now, these are scientists, and our president, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, a visionary leader, that's why he keeps on saying, let's prioritize sciences. Do you know why? Because science gives evidence. Science will warn, and they will tell you we are expecting rains of this magnitude, because the scientists will tell you there is what we call normal, average, and above normal rainfall. Now, normal rainfall is that rainfall, that first period of time, that is the rainfall that area has been receiving. Now, when we say above normal, that means the rain you're going to receive is above the usual rain you receive. Now, when meteorologists warn, our scientists, and even write and say areas at high risk, these and these, people should vacate, this should be done, and we do not respond to science, or we do not trickle that information to the people, or the people also don't appreciate the scientists, this is where we end. These disasters were forewarned that yes, this is what we are seeing, this is what we expect. We didn't dance according to science, maybe in time, or it didn't trickle down to the people in this area that better vacate now. Now, when this happens, it is very unfortunate.
Right.
Now, government has come in, because in disaster management, these are the things that happen. We have proactivities, you know, that you don't act when the disaster has happened, but you act before. These landslides could have happened in an area where there are no people. That means you are proactive. Now, we have what I don't want, but it happens. Emergency response. That is if you didn't do much in proactivity. Now we have to act when it comes to emergency response. And we have what we call after. That when the disaster has ended, claimed their life, what actions? Those three phases are very important in disaster prevention, management, and aftermath. There are three phases. How you act before the disaster happens, because science has informed you. How you act when it is happening, or it has happened, those are rescues. And then after, how do you prepare the people? So I must say, we had challenges here.
Right.
That one, when the information comes out, it is raining. Because the locals, for them, these are hard things to understand. Why? One will tell you, my grandparents were here in this land. They were buried here. Generations, they never died of landslides. Forgetting that the steep slopes, you've carried out deforestation. Your parents were there, they lived in those areas, but the green was still on top of the forests. No wonder those people had certain things, certain beliefs and sayings that were aimed at preventing and protecting these areas. Right. They will tell you, on that hill, you can't reside on top. Kuliko musambwa. I know you've heard of those stories. But these were never real.
Right.
Kulikengo, kuliko bichi. But these stories were preventing people from building houses, from residing in these places. Now, by then there was green there, and much as your father and mother were on the slopes, but the vegetation was holding. Today, as we speak, the vegetation has been removed. Now, the soil, what could hold the soil together is no longer there. Yes, you're in this plot, this land where your father, your mother was, but the danger up there that used to hold is no longer there. That the local may not understand. Two, the local may say, I buried my mother here, I buried my father here, I'm going to be buried here. Maybe even they have shrines or something they celebrate. Right. So getting them there may not be easy. When I saw the Honorable Minister say, leave these areas, or we shall forcefully remove you. Now, these are things we should have done before. That when we look at this area and this area, we must take action before disaster happens. And maybe these lives could have been saved if the locals, government, and scientists worked in tandem.
From the background you've shared, what does that speak of us as a people? On the side of government and on the side of the locals, what picture does it paint? Because on the side of the government, you would expect that each steward in their office would actually have taken action a long time ago. I do have someone I look up to. I work with them, and many times, every time you give an excuse of, I did not know it was coming in that moment, they'll tell you, but it's your docket. You ought to have planned prior, knowing that in this month there are heavy rains, so just in case of A, let's have ABC in place. So that just in case A happens, you're set. In case B happens, you're set. In case C happens, you're set. But why is it that in Uganda, all the time, every now and again, we are shocked in that moment, and yet it's the government, there's taxpayer, we pay taxes, so that means in one way or the other, we have to be prepared.
Well, thank you, Judy, for that question. Now, I'm not an authority or a government spokesperson, and what I'm giving is out of experience on the various people I've interviewed, my experience as a journalist in the field. I've gone to these places. 2010, at least I was in Bududa, you know, but this is what I'm going to tell you. I don't want to 100% put the blame on government. No. Why? One, I've seen incidents where ill-minded politicians come with the statements and mislead the people in disaster-prone areas. I remember in Bududa, there's a politician who was telling them, don't leave, they want to grab your land. He was saying that is the center of my supporters. You know, in an election, someone can tell you, if for example, I'm standing for Kampala Central, someone may be a born of Chisenyi. And he has gone through that harsh life, so he's seen as a ghetto child, what. Now, if you want to do anything that calls for relocation of people from Chisenyi,
right,
and he knows that is his stronghold, as a politician, he will want those people to stay there so that they can vote for him. Because his colleague may have power in maybe another area, uptown and what. So some politicians say, but these are my people, these are my voters. You're disorganized. This is where my stronghold is. Now, politicians sometimes mislead the people. Before even I go to government, area politicians. I'm not saying for this case, but I've seen it in my time as a journalist. Two, funding. The Office of the Prime Minister has got a number of initiatives. But can we say they have all the funds they need to have these in place? I want to tell you there was a resettlement plan for the people of Bududa. There was, okay, we build houses for you. Now, how much was government given, was the ministry given for the relocation? Some were saying, no, give us money, we go to other areas. There's so much. Do we have enough money? Where I would fault government, funds may not be really available, but going on ground and bringing the problem before the people. Much as they could have other issues. Because if now you're saying, if you do not leave, we are going to forcefully evacuate you, which we call in disaster forceful evacuation. One would ask, why move now? Why didn't you carry that message before and tell these people that if you do not leave, of course they would say government policy, if you want us to vacate, then compensation. Now, are you going to compensate them now? Because the Honorable Minister, if you don't leave, we shall remove you. Now, at such a particular time, are you going to pay them forceful evacuation? Even the United States does it. Even developed countries do it, where there is forceful evacuation, that the government senses people are in danger. So you're not going to leave them in danger because you have to approve budgets. What you do, you use force, remove them, then you follow thereafter. So I would fault government for not being proactive enough. But of course, well knowing there are other players in this that also have to be blamed, the community leadership. If this part, the highly risky areas, what have you done as you? Second, this may sound not very good to the people who've lost their grieved persons. But you see, these are also activities of man that nature is speaking. Activities of man that nature is speaking. Today, we've had a population boom. And areas that were previously not occupied by people are now occupied by people. I said earlier, our great fathers who never went to school, I don't know how they got this knowledge, but they knew that some of these areas had to be protected. Julie, today it's very unfortunate that, let me tell you, I've seen learned people, and I know you've noticed this in Kampala, and you watching us, if you're not one of the people I'm talking about, they love to stay in two areas. One, hilltops. A person goes on top of a hill where there is vegetation, cuts all the trees, brings a grader, brings a caterpillar, brings all maram, what? Builds a very lovely house and says, I have the view of the entire city. Now what you're doing, the people that are in the lower areas here, what used to hold the soils together, because a person, it is expensive to build on top of those hills, you see them with houses so beautiful. Wealth is good, praise God. But I'm saying you need to be mindful. Now for our brothers and sisters there, when you begin cutting these trees as if you're not going to live for tomorrow, when you begin occupying these areas reluctantly like that, Mother Nature will speak. The other area that people want is lake shores. You know, my house, even if for advertising, the land touches the water. It touches Lake Victoria. Now, there is so much you're removing from the water. Sometimes even swamps, you're claiming all these, you're feeling part so that you stay in that lavish home where, but Mother Nature will speak. I remember there was a time when one of the tycoons we have in the city here, and one pastor, mighty man of God that holds this nation together, when he had the lake speak up to their magnificent homes. So the activities of man as communities, our forefathers talked of Misambwa, Mizimungo, Timba, what? This generation, what are we doing to protect these areas? Because now Mother Nature is killing its own because we have disobeyed and wasted it.
Thank you very much, Sam Cherop in Kapchora. He just sent in a clip and he says the situation is still bad, the rains are still heavy and unpredictable. Much as government is coming in, our people should evacuate and move to low-risk areas. Thank you, Sam, for giving us that update and for watching the show. Just like Sam, be a part of the show. Even if you're not in those areas, you are, in one way or the other, you have been affected by the heavy rains. But indeed, from the people in the Elgon and Sebei region, would be lovely to at least know that you're safe in one way or the other. And indeed, we are praying for you as action is taking shape. Robert, in your journalistic perspective, what is Uganda ready for climate-related disaster? Just by these examples. Remember early on in the year, in January, February, heavy rains were, it was the same situation. And the Meteorological Center gave us a report that those rains indeed would subsidize in March, which happened. April, thereafter it was fair, and they warned us that come towards the end of the year, November, there would still be heavy rains. We knew. But as Uganda, as a nation, are we ready to handle climate-related disaster?
My answer would be no. We are not ready. One, it takes a multi-sectoral approach. It involves communities, It involves leaders. It involves government bodies working in tandem, not in isolation. It involves finances. So one, let's begin with, okay, finances. Do we have a big budget for disaster response? One, disaster prevention. Two, and also there's a term they use, it just skipped my mind, after the disaster has happened. Do we have those budgets ready as a country? Or is it that when a disaster occurs, we look around? We depend on Red Cross, we depend on this body, that body, you know. I want to say Office of the Prime Minister has done so much, but they're also constrained sometimes by funding, because at least they've even opened up certain offices, up-country regional offices, that in case of a disaster, response can hurry. But you see, the biggest is not the response when the disasters occurred. This ability of taking UPDF, taking excavators, taking food to people, blankets, having a camp where they are, giving them facilities, services, a blanket, a basin, a bucket, that is good. But it is not what we should be aiming at as a country. We should aim at being proactive and prevent this from happening. And what does it take? One, we should look at how to protect Mother Nature. First. Because you see, when you protect your environment, these things are not going to happen. These things used never to happen of this magnitude 5 decades ago. Because Uganda was there. The Sebei region was there decades before. And they were people, not as much as they are now, no doubt about it, but I've told you these are areas that were protected by people who are not as informed as you and I are now, but they had ways of protecting these areas.
Right.
So as a country, how are we protecting these steeps? How are we protecting these mountain tops? How are we protecting them? That is 2. 3, how are we disseminating knowledge to the people? That today you're sleeping here, but anytime you may wake up and you're before your creator or before the devil. Because of the 2 things. You're either in heaven or you're in hell. If you're in heaven, praise the Lord. If you're in hell, you may find quite a number of your colleagues there. So, how do people get sensitized to know of these dangers? That is very important. 3, some of the people, why they are not vacating these areas, Judy, you see, we need to set precedents. What has the relocation plan been? How effective, how expeditious has it been? That is very easy to tell someone, live here, government, as it is planning for you. You know? Do we have very good stories of where landslides have been? Say the Bududa 2010, doing in 2025. Do we have good stories that if government went and told these brothers and sisters of ours, you are at risk, high risk, government now may not have the funds, or government has a plan to ensure that you live. Because government can buy off these people. You know? Let them live. Let these places be restored. You know, let the tree planting happen. Let's restore these areas. Let them be reserved areas. As you see, game parks, they are fertile, they are good, but you don't go there. You can't say, I'm going to build my house here because there is land. How do we make these areas protected to save the lives of people? Mother Nature can speak. Just take a look at what happened in Kampala here. You see, this Nachivubu channel was not constructed by man. That is where Ogomwaramazi Wegaitanga. Water, that was the path of water. Now, what government did, they just built, you know, to ensure that they give shape and it is safe enough.
Right.
Now, what happened is man activity The list I had, they were co-accusing each other, one saying Drake, one saying Ham. Then I remember Sechito said they have given us engineers from National Water and Sewage Corporation. Then each one of these, their engineers, we see where did the problem come from. But the problem came from man activity. So how do we prevent these man activities, action of men that are resulting into loss of property and the worst losses of lives?
Indeed, thank you very much, Robert. Now, Uganda, one would wonder if the climate conversation indeed is taking place. It has taken place. We have activists like Vanessa Nakate who have been so loud, out loud, right from the beginning of her activism, holding placards about on climate change. Uganda is part of those countries that convene for COP summits. In fact, if you look at the key participation points, Uganda has stressed the need for greater and more transparent climate finance, particularly to bridge the gap between pledges and actual disbursements. And of course, looking at the national strategy, the government has integrated climate action into its national planning and has its Vision 2040, which places green growth at the center of its transformation strategy. Generally, a lot is going on in regards to climate change.
Though I highly don't believe in COP, personally, let me give you an example.
Yes.
Africa. You see, this COP is good. But what power do you have as African countries? There's something called the Loss and Damage Fund. Now, we had agreed that as Africans, what we contribute to the destruction of this global environment is very minimal compared to our brothers, the developed countries, that have for years polluted the ozone layer, affected whatever science we can talk about. There are those that know it better than I do, and they are watching, so I don't want to venture into that area as well. But we agreed that let them give us money. That is what we call the Loss and Damage Fund. Now, Africans go to COP, we say we can't go as a country, we go as a region, East Africa, then we go as this, we go as this, we go to this debating table. But you see, we are only beggars there.
Could it be one of the reasons why the climate message is not loud enough? It's not landing on the hearts of Ugandans, because you can see a lot is being done. A lot of people who are in these spaces are talking a lot about climate change. But to be honest, it's like they're talking to dead.
There is more talk than action. No wonder many people have criticized COP. That COP, it's yielding. The Loss and Damage Fund, if Africa estimates, I'm just going to give an example, that maybe at least give us $1 billion. You know what we come back with? 100 million. And even how to get that money, how to do this, how to do that, talk about carbon trade. So there are so many things in this environment talk that I believe we should just domesticate. Have what is Ugandan, enforce it, you know, because we have bodies that can enforce this. Our president, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, you know, I'll talk about this man so much because when he's speaking, I listen critically. I've seen him go against people saying, Museveni, you want to get votes. He's been very clear on climate change. He's been very clear on chasing people from swamps. You know, much as he's had people who are doing this and saying that, he's been very clear on people deforestation. This is the man who issued a ban on charcoal. The only problem is sometimes His Excellency is a lonely wolf. That he has the vision, he has the plan, he has good, but people to follow and share the vision with him. When he says, let's reduce, have banned charcoal, guess what happens?
These people are the very business owners.
The very people now decide. I've investigated, I did an investigation on charcoal transportation. When the president banned, it is now more lucrative. Because there are those that went out of business because they lacked connections and what. Now the few that remained are making a lot of money. You can't transport a truck of charcoal from Ruwero to Kampala. There are people in there who illegally you have to look through for you to do this business. So you see that he has a vision, he has a plan, but the problem is the right people to work with him.
To execute.
To execute. So let's forget about the global COP, the global, let's domesticate our policies. Let's tailor-make what is for us. Indeed. And enforce that.
Indeed. I guess from what you've said, it will actually land in the spirits of Ugandans. But as we speak right now, the conversation of climate change is more of a foreign story and people having their own conversations. But to be honest, when you come to the ground, it's nothing related to the muntu wa bulijjo. No one relates with it. No one understands it. It's just information. It's like talking a lot of politics and people don't understand.
When the land are the ones clearing hilltops, you find a professor
now
of environment is saying, I built on top of a mountain, I have the view of the entire city. Why did you go to school?
Phillips from Karamoja says, good morning. It's unfortunate that we lost people due to mudslides in Sabay region. The problem is that a very issue in Uganda has been politicized, and so those yapping for ever political officers don't want disturbances to their people, electorates, in other words. We have full departments at district level, call natural resources with different departments like forestry, environment, etc., who are supposed to carry out routine environmental assessment to inform people what could happen. Culture move with what is happening in the environment in my district. Elders will warn anyone who cuts trees anyhow, burns anyhow, and now the place is heavily covered with trees and vegetation. Indeed, a thumbs up to the leaders in your region. And this is, by the way, Karamoja region, because Phillips is engaging from Karamoja region. So good to hear from you, Phillips. Good morning, Julie. Already our weather forecast team is weak with performance. Our weather emergency teams are so much individual best. Thirdly, Banange, emphasis on going uphill to empower these local people with ample knowledge. This is Kenneth Bwayo from Chisubi. God bless you. Thank you, Kenneth, for being on the show. And Lebrazen from Netherlands, Brooklyn. You say disaster preparation is the only solution to this. For example, floods in, I hope I understand what you sent, but you say, for example, floods in, let them build bigger tunnels. I have been in West Africa. They have bigger tunnels carrying floods from sites to oceans. People have no floods. Very interesting. When it comes to, indeed, picking leaves from other developed countries. Right, this conversation has to come to its end. But as is, the heavy rains are still on. The month of November is just so young. A few days, 3 days into it, that means the rains are also still here with us. Best thing you can do is to be as careful as you must be, because no matter what happens, your life is more important than the material things you're trying to protect or any other thing you're trying to protect. Your life first. It's all that matters. Be safe, and let's make sure that we are stewards of our nation, learning from this and becoming good stewards of Uganda, especially in the conversation of climate change, as well as the policies that we make therein. For God and our country, good morning.
Kasih, dia mau ke bawah. Telepon kita.
Awas sana itu negara dengan
Kalau mau nak cari tak?
Itu dari
Kasih, dia kamu jaga sakit.
Kapchora branch to support the affected communities. We dispatched teams from our Kapchora branch to support slides. And Uganda Red Cross emergency response teams are on ground. We dispatched teams from our Kapchora branch to support the affected communities. We are also working closely with the local authorities and the first responders, who are some of the community members, to be able to support these affected communities. Uganda Red Cross volunteers have supported the search and rescue for all the dead bodies. And as I speak today or right now, all the dead bodies are with their dear ones. It's a very regrettable incident. We want to commiserate with the families that have lost their dear ones. And as Uganda Red Cross, we are community-based, so our teams are with those particular people who have lost their dear ones. And other teams are conducting assessments because the affected area is quite vast. We need to complete an assessment which should inform the bigger response that Uganda Red Cross will do. We are, however, coordinating with the Office of the Prime Minister. We are in touch with the Minister, Honorable Lilian Abel, who is actually also coordinating meetings with us to ensure that even the government contribution can come through. So once the assessment is done, we should be able to deliver meaningful response to the affected families.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Ginshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules. Plant extract, scientific ratio, take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning, eat twice a day, don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Ginshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product. For more information, visit our website www.hgo.com or call 0800 335555.
Following our earlier communication regarding the technical challenge that affected the transmission of some free-to-air television channels, Uganda Broadcasting Corporation UBC wishes to provide the public with an update on the ongoing restoration efforts. Our engineering and technical teams have been working diligently to resolve the issue and restore normal transmission. While substantial progress has been made, the process has taken longer than initially anticipated due to the complexity of the fault. We assure our valued viewers and partners that full restoration remains our top priority and every necessary measure is being taken to ensure a stable and reliable signal across all affected platforms. In the meantime, we kindly advise viewers to rescan their TV sets to access the available channels. This will ensure that you can view the channels that are currently broadcasting without interruption. UBC sincerely apologizes for the inconvenience this disruption has caused and appreciates the continued patience and understanding of our audiences as we finalize the recovery process. Further updates will be provided through our official communication channels as progress continues. For additional information, please contact Public Relations Office, Uganda Broadcasting Corporation UBC. Email info@ubc.go.ug or +256 703 826 623.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Brought to you by Uniquely Ours. Explore Uganda.
Yes, good morning once again, Maranga Zuk Ik, Mata Dadang Ikarimajong. We are in Karamoja and today behind us is the Karatunga setting. And with us is the Ik community. I suppose so many of you have heard about the Ik community. But now it's time to get to know about who the Ik are. Yes, with me is Mr. Peter, who is going to tell us what the setting behind us means. I believe everything has a meaning, the heart, how we are seated, the culture outfit, and who the Ik are. Yes, he's going to be introducing himself again and tell us about the community.
Yes, thank you so much, Sakia. Good morning, Uganda again. This is the Ik setting up. So the Ik are known to be the small minority in our tribe, residing within Uagnda on the extreme northern side of the country, in a district called the Kabong. This small community of about 10,000 people, according to 2014 census population counting. So they reside in the landscapes, Rift Valley escarpment of Timu, Moriwole, and Kamion. Who are they? They speak their own language, fruit hunter-gatherers. They depend on herbal medicines, traditional foods. On the crops, you can find the maize, as you see, they stand up there. The foods, so I said the maize, traditional herbal greens,
and fruits.
And fruits. Honey, if you want one of the best honey in the country, please spend your time and come and meet the community. Traditional dances, so the dances are not like the ones of the Karmojong. You've been there.
Yes.
So this time around, you jump and then the man, the lady slides you over. So if you fall down, meaning you are weak. If you look at the dressing as well, like the lady there, so the beads are a bit an assimilation of the Turkana Karmojong. However, this is because of the modern Tasha beads. So the traditional one could just be a small hide covering the private body like a woman, men walking naked or covering themselves in leaves sometimes. At the moment, we designed this booth to showcase the world, to showcase the country, to showcase the destination that the Iki people are here. You need to learn about them. You need to know about them. If you left for Kampala, 570 kilometers away, on the extreme northern side, against the park, between Uganda, Sudan, and Kenya is where the Ik are. Example, if you want to greet in the morning, you say Marang. And then if you want to reply, you say Marangasu. So it is opposite to the Karmojongs that you've known, like Mata and all that.
Yes.
So please, we encourage everybody, all the travel influencers, destination marketeers, please. Come, share your memories, come learn about the Ik people, you see the house. Come interact, please. Let's learn about them, and this is one way we can promote the indigenous communities.
Yes. What is the one outstanding thing that is in the Ik community that you will not find in the other cultures in Karamoja?
One is the traditional settings of the huts. You look at this hut here.
Yes.
So the grazing starts all the way from the ground, and the hut is not all that round. It extends again behind.
Okay.
May not only be the one. Other thing is their language. You can't find it anywhere. The location where they are, I think, is one of the most people that are the first to see the sun, if I may say. And I don't want to cheat exams for you. You have to be in there.
Okay.
So that's one other thing that you can't find anywhere else. Let me have the most quality honey. Orange golden honey, Sakea, is found in the Iki community. Yes. So those are one of the unique gems that somebody can put in their bucket list when you think about the Iki people.
When you talk about honey, does that mean they are beekeepers?
Yes. There is a beehive the other point. So typical beekeepers. So I'm telling them in the language. So the best honey you could get, typical beekeepers, fruit and hunter-gatherers, and purely farmers. So no pastoralism. Yeah.
I believe these have a similarity with the Batwa community, being that these feed on fruits and then the vegetables. What more can we get to know about this setting? The fact that we are seated on animal skin, is it the same animal skin you'll find in the other cultures of Karamoja?
Yes. Now the animal skin, the Iki community trade it with the Karamojongs with their maize. So you, say example, you take like 2 sacks of maize, you get the animal skin for sleeping. The way we store the maize, look at that maize stand there. Yes. It's typically unique for the Iki. The dressing, as you see. The foods are more residing on wild vegetables, beans, maize, no meat, no milk. You know? The structure, like I said already, is typically different. we don't make like a big setup of houses like the Karamojong. So this time around is one man with his children and his wife. So the setting is dotted and is spread along the escarpment.
Is it also called the Manyata or it has a different name?
Yeah, you could call it the Manyata actually. So yeah, it is, yeah.
Okay, asking about the animal skin, I'm seeing others with the leopard, others have zebra. Which animal skin is in the Ik community?
Now the totem is a species of an antelope. I really don't know.
Antelope.
It looks like more an eland. Actually, an eland. So it is their totem. Okay. Yeah. So that is their totem. But they are really conservationists. In fact, something I never talked about is these people cultivate on the conservation zones of National Forest Authority and the park. So normally they do buildings or houses and gardens under the forest. You can only get the dead wood for fire example. They don't cut the trees. So in fact, in Karamoja, I would say the best place you could get with still the original authentic forest is where the Ik are. So they are typical conservationists in nature. Yeah.
When you talk about that, most people think Karamoja is a desert. But when you say these people don't cut down trees, meaning you'll find a whole different climate when you go to the Ik community.
Exactly.
Yes.
So because of that practice, the Ik on the extreme northern Uganda in Kabong, I said, actually even have 2 seasons. So opposite to the ones in Moroto, Amudat, Kabong. Because of their climate and the trees they keep around. Example in Morungole, this time people are harvesting as well as planting another food again. So because the weather there is conducive, there's a bit some sufficient rain to sustain the community. Whereas the Karamojong is down, we've chopped everything and is almost bare. So that explains the difference in seasons. Yeah.
All right, you just heard from the Ik community. All along you thought Karamoja is probably just a conversion of one culture, but you're going to hear that there are different cultures within the actual culture. You heard about the Ik, and stick around because we are yet to bring you a whole different culture also from Karamoja.
Brought to you by Uniquely Ours. Explore Uganda.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Time for business. Welcome back from GMU Tourism Express. My name is Julie F. Nantaba, and from the business desk today, the Speaker of Parliament, Right Honourable Anita Annette Among, has told factory workers that Parliament is looking at amending Uganda's labour law in order to put up a minimum wage bill aiming to prevent worker exploitation. Among also asked factory owners to pay the workers well. She was meeting over 10,000 workers from factories under the umbrella Victoria Group in Jerubuikwe and Jinja. While mobilizing for NRM government, Speaker Among, flanked by PLU Secretary General David Kawanda, Adrian Kobusinje, the head of NRM Women League, has voiced optimism that labour law will be amended to enable passing of minimum wage bill. She says factory owners should enhance wages too for their workers because it's where they earn livelihood from. The event attracted over 10,000 factory workers and owners who fall under the Victoria Group companies operating in eastern Uganda. Factory workers have also been called on to value their work because it's where they feed from, and through that avenue can create wealth for themselves in a long run. The visit by Speaker Among and Central Executive Committee members in Jerubuikwe and Jinja Bugembe was to rally people from Busoga to vote NRM government as means of protecting the gains. She also promised the youth working in these factories that Parliament will assist them through facilitation as long as they are organized. Moving on, the Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, Matia Kasaija, has commissioned a new coffee factory in Namamve. The facility is a state-of-the-art expected to boost coffee exports and create jobs. The launch of Sina Indo Coffee Factory is a milestone in Uganda's journey to industrialization and value addition. Representing the Prime Minister, Minister Matia Kasaija praised the investment as it aligns with the government's tenfold economic growth strategy. The factory will process and export over 18,000 tons of coffee each month. Officials say the new facility will not only boost exports but also promote value addition, increasing Uganda's earnings from coffee from just $5 to up to $25 per kilogram. The investment will create over 1,000 direct jobs and support Uganda's goal of ending unemployment through industrial growth. Later, the minister flagged off 100 tons of coffee to Italy and China, India and USA. Trade union leaders have been challenged to embrace innovation and new strategies to remain relevant in today's rapidly changing world of work. The Secretary General of the National Organization of Trade Unions, NOTU, Richard Bijirwa, urged unions to adapt to evolving workplace dynamics and attract younger generations of workers. NOTU Secretary General Richard Bijirwa said declining union membership demands modern proactive approaches aligned with today's labor trends and technology. Delegates endorsed the union's General Secretary Stephen Abima to contest for the Workers' MP. Finally, manufacturers have been urged to produce high-quality goods to compete in the global market. This was called by Stuart Jason Mwesigwa, Corporate Affairs Manager at Uagnda Bati, during a 3-day training on manufacturing excellence and industrial solar applications at UMA headquarters in Lugogo. During a 3-day training on manufacturing excellence and industrial solar applications at UMA headquarters in Lugogo, Stuart Jason Mwesigwa, the Corporate Affairs Manager, Uagnda Bati, encouraged manufacturers to focus on quality to compete on the world stage. Chalimpa Joseph, UMA Training Manager, urged manufacturers to attend UMA trainings to enhance the value of their products. Manufacturers from various companies called on the government to reduce electricity costs to lower production expenses. And that's it from the desk of business, but we can't close it without looking at what the forex rates look like as of the 31st of October 2025, which was last Friday. The US dollar opened at 3,471.95 and was selling at 3,481.95. By midday, it had increased to a value of 3,477.86 and selling at 3,487.86 and closed in at 3,472, a drop there from midday. 3,472.05 and selling at 3,482.05. The British pound was buying at 4,566.44 and selling at 4,579.59. The euro was buying at 4,016.46 and selling at 4,028.03. And the Kenyan shilling was buying at 26.87, selling at 26.95. And the Tanzanian shilling increased there to 1.41 and selling at the same. The South African rand buying at 200.72 and selling at 201.30. Well, that's it from the world of business. Up next is the agenda. PLE began on Friday with a briefing session. Continues today with papers being written starting today into tomorrow. And we're having a conversation with UNEB regarding PLE. 0709602592 is the WhatsApp number that you should save and be a part of the conversation. Coming up next right after this short break. Good morning.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Following our earlier communication regarding the technical challenge that affected the transmission of some free-to-air television channels, Uganda Broadcasting Corporation UBC wishes to provide the public with an update on the ongoing restoration efforts. Our engineering and technical teams have been working diligently to resolve the issue and restore normal transmission. While substantial progress has been made, the process has taken longer than initially anticipated due to the complexity of the fault. We assure our valued viewers and partners that full restoration remains our top priority and every necessary measure is being taken to ensure a stable and reliable signal across all affected platforms. In the meantime, we kindly advise viewers to rescan their TV sets to access the available channels. This will ensure that you can view the channels that are currently broadcasting without interruption. UBC sincerely apologizes for the inconvenience this disruption has caused and appreciates the continued patience and understanding of our audiences as we finalize the recovery process. Further updates will be provided through our official communication channels as progress continues. For additional information, please contact Public Relations Office, Uganda Broadcasting Corporation UBC. Email info@ubc.go.ug or +256 703 826 623.
Taxation is a bit complicated, and the only way to demystify it and make it as easy to understand and to comply with is through engagement. Is there a limit to the number of cars a returning citizen is bringing into Uganda? Who has paid the excise duty on this water is not the supermarket which has sold you this bottle at 1,000. It's not the business. It is the man who is going to drink this water. We strongly believe that it will only be through such constructive engagement that we'll be able to broaden our tax base and build our country together.
Buza Kamiso now. Now you can get direct answers. Send your tax-related questions via WhatsApp or SMS to 0790-141-887 and the Commissioner General of URA, John Musinguzi, will personally address them. Tune in to UBC News Tonight every Monday and Wednesday for expert insights and clear explanations. Buza Commissioner.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Ginshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules. Plant extract, scientific ratio. Take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning, eat twice a day, don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Ginshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product. For more information, visit our website www.hgo.com or call 0800 335555.
Juko.
Yo.
What you go? Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Uagnda, haven't you heard of the parish development model PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, Sebatia. It is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a portrait project, and now things are moving.
Juko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The parish development model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better.
PDM, my parish, my development, my life. In a nation hungry for truth, a world where every story matters, there exists a beacon of trust and reliability. For decades, they've been our voice and our window to the world, holding the mirror of our history. With 4 TV stations and 11 radio channels spanning 27 languages, they stand as guardians of information, defenders of truth. With Mascari Heritage Advantage, they uphold every citizen's right to reliable and free information. Their archive stories shaped our past and illuminate our present. Yet now, as new challenges arise and the world evolves, their mission faces its greatest test yet. Be part of our journey and let's navigate the unknown, uncover the untold, and safeguard our future together. Tune into your public broadcaster, for it is the intersection of trust and truth. Because to UBC, your story, and every voice matters. UBC, inspiring Uganda.
The government's core mandate is to maintain law and order, safeguard citizens' rights, and provide essential public services.
Remember, one of the pillars of a roadmap is innovation and entrepreneurship.
There has been this question of how are you protecting our indigenous seed?
It's going to be a tall project. That answers somebody's question.
For the past 20 weeks, the front bench has brought you insightful discussions on governance, security, healthcare, justice and commerce.
Why do you go through this complicated procedure, involve the lawyers? You bring the case against him, the judge will hear you out and pass judgment, and you're out of court in record time.
We remain committed to keeping you informed and engaged on key national matters.
So these are huge, these are powerful organizations which now Uganda chairs. Why don't you come together?
If we haven't migrated to the e-card because of various reasons, including that not all the people of Uganda have smartphones.
You can sit in your house, apply for a passport. If you have a Ugandan who has a successful logistics firm in the US, it means he can come to Uganda and do a lot more.
Now airing every Monday at 8:30 p.m. with me, Jethro Kasaiji, your interface with the government only on your public broadcaster, UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Every Wednesday, live in our studios in the heart of Kampala.
We have to change the political culture in this country, really. Who has bewitched Ugandans?
I want to assure you, as government, we shall do whatever it takes to ensure that Ugandans are safe.
We have conversations that have analysis, explanation.
This law society, this union of theirs, because they want a job everywhere, they want to be this, they want to be that, they want... No. We know it's a union.
You cannot be making a road, bitumen grade 1, in Congo for 5 billion.
But not every truth is fact, and not every fact is truth.
The argument that the General Court Martial is responsible for peace and stability is without basis, either in law or in fact.
We have been told how Napoleon was a great orator. Now, Napoleon cannot help me get food. They told me combine harvest in Saskatchewan. I don't know where Saskatchewan is. This is a geography we're taught. Instead of teaching me how to preserve Mabera forest, they're teaching me about Rhineland. This is a problem we got. We cannot run away from it.
Right now, you hear very disgusting stories of members of parliament. Instead of discussing the details of loans, they ask for their cuts.
Every Wednesday, 10 p.m. on your public broadcaster.
Broadcaster, UBC, inspiring Uganda. Pick of the day on UBC. Was brought to you by
I'll call you every day, yeah, yo,
can now get all the chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000 or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21 hash and select daily or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
Live from UPC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Following our earlier communication regarding the technical challenge that affected the transmission of some free-to-air television channels, Uganda Broadcasting Corporation UBC wishes to provide the public with an update on the ongoing restoration efforts. Our engineering and technical teams have been working diligently to resolve the issue and restore normal transmission. While substantial progress has been made, the process has taken longer than initially anticipated due to the complexity of the fault. We assure our valued viewers and partners that full restoration remains our top priority and every necessary measure is being taken to ensure a stable and reliable signal across all affected platforms. In the meantime, we kindly advise viewers to rescan their TV sets to access the available channels. This will ensure that you can view the channels that are currently broadcasting without interruption. UBC sincerely apologizes for the inconvenience this disruption has caused and appreciates the continued patience and understanding of our audiences as we finalize the recovery process. Further updates will be provided through our official communication channels as progress continues. For additional information, please contact Public Relations Office, Uganda Broadcasting Corporation UBC. Email info@ubc.go.ug or +256 703 826 623.
Taxation is a bit complicated, and the only way to demystify it and make it as easy to understand and to comply with is through engagement. Is there a limit to the number of cars a returning citizen is bringing into Uganda? Who has paid the excise duty on this water is not the supermarket which has sold you this bottle at 1,000. It's not the business. It is the man who is going to drink this water. We strongly believe that it will only be through such constructive engagement that we'll be able to broaden our tax base and build our country together.
Buza Commissioner. Now you can get direct answers. Send your tax-related questions via WhatsApp or SMS to 0790-141-887 and the Commissioner General of URA, John Musinguzi, will personally address them. Tune in to UBC News Tonight every Monday and Wednesday for expert insights and clear explanations. Buza Commissioner.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Genshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules. Plant extract, scientific ratio. Take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning, eat twice a day, don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Genshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product. For more information, visit our website www.hgo.com or call 0800 335555.
Juko.
Yo.
Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Haven't you heard of the parish development model PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, Sebatia. It is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a poultry project, and now things are moving.
Juko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The parish development model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better.
PDM, my parish, my development, my life. In a nation hungry for truth, a world where every story matters, there exists a beacon of trust and reliability. For decades, they've been our voice and our window to the world, holding the mirror of our history. With 4 TV stations and 11 radio channels spanning 27 languages, they stand as guardians of information, defenders of truth. With Mascari Heritage Advantage, they uphold every citizen's right to reliable and free information. Their archived stories shaped our past and illuminate our present. Yet now, as new challenges arise and the world evolves, their mission faces its greatest test yet. Be part of our journey and let's navigate the unknown, uncover the untold, and safeguard our future together. Tune into your public broadcaster, for it is the intersection of trust and truth. Because to UBC, your story, and every voice matters. UBC, inspiring Uganda.
The government's commanded is to maintain law and order, safeguard citizens' rights, and provide essential public services.
Remember, one of the pillars of the roadmap is innovation and entrepreneurship.
There has been this question of how are you protecting our indigenous seed?
It's going to be a tall project that answers somebody's question.
For the past 20 weeks, the front bench has brought you insightful discussions on governance, security, healthcare, justice, and commerce.
Why do you go through this complicated procedure, involve the lawyers? You bring the case against him, the judge will hear you out and pass judgment, and you're out of court in record time.
We remain committed to keeping you informed and engaged on key national matters.
So these are huge, these are powerful organizations which now Uganda chairs. Why don't you come together?
If we haven't migrated to the e-card because of various reasons, including that not all the people of Uganda have smartphones.
You can sit in your house, apply for a passport. If you have a Ugandan who has a successful logistics firm in the US, it means he can come to Uganda and do a lot more.
Now airing every Monday at 8:30 p.m. with me, Jethro Kasaiji, your interface with the government only on your public broadcaster, UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
A very good morning to you on this cold Monday morning. Thank you so much for watching UBC TV. If you started the show with us, thank you. It means a lot. If you are just joining in, you're welcome. This is Good Morning Uganda. And if you found us along the way before we went into a short break, still you are welcome. Thank you so much for choosing UBC TV. Right now it's time for the agenda. And of course, the Uganda National Examinations Board is handling PLE exams, started on Friday into today until tomorrow. And we are here to get the update on PLE exams. The head of communications at UNEB, Jennifer Kalule, is with us to speak on this particular matter. Good morning, Jennifer.
Good morning, Julie.
Congratulations on thus far you have come since the UNEB.
We want to thank the Lord. We want to thank the Lord that we have come this far.
Yes.
Yes, this is a long-awaited week. This is a very packed week for us. We are running all the 3 sets of examinations this week. CLE and UCE, these are the bigger this week, and then the USC also begins on Friday.
Wow.
So it's quite packed, but God give us the grace.
Indeed, indeed, God give you the grace. But let's start with the statistics. What do the statistics of candidates sitting for PLE this year look like overall?
Okay, overall we have 817,000, 885 candidates who did register for the examination. And it is our prayer that all those who registered will be able to sit for the examination. We'll be able to see how many are able to sit. And this is a percentage increase of 2.5% compared to last year. We had 744 candidates. And out of this, 52% are females, while 48% are males. And another very interesting bit about this is that the majority of these candidates are sponsored by the government under the Universal Primary Education Program, and that is 64% of these candidates, which is quite a good number and a vote of confidence for our government schools. So we want to approach the teachers and everybody who has a stake in the UPE program that this is a good thing for us, and we want to encourage others to also keep doing the same. So we also have number of SME candidates. We have 3,644 candidates who have special needs requirements, and the board is doing all that is necessary to make sure we provide them with the required support. And this includes 515 males, and then 51.5% who are males, and then 48.5% who are females. So we have deployed 1,505 support personnel for these for the various needs of the SNE learners, and this includes some of them. We have 300 of these have to provide sign language interpretation. Others have to provide transcription for those who have reading and writing impairment, and then we also have braille question papers as well as braille answer sheets for learners with visual impairment. And then we also have those that just need an extra 45 minutes. But in all the learners with special needs receive an extra 45 minutes. And in case we get those who get circumstantially impaired, let's say, God forbid, they are going to the center and something happens and they're not able to write or something, then we are also able to provide for them with support, whatever support is required. So that is about it. And some of our learners, by the way, we also have learners in the prison. We have learners who are in the reserve prison, and these 61 candidates are going to the examinations from our center at Inozera, and 7 of these are ladies, while 54 of them are gentlemen.
Right. Thank you very much, Jennifer.
Jennifer, now I'm so excited if you can tell us how the day is moving on so far.
Okay, so far so good. As I speak right now, I'm speaking from an examination center around Kampala. The candidates are just finished taking their breakfast. They are being checked. They are removing. I wish there was a camera. I wish I could show you. And they are removing their stuff. They are removing their geometry statement. A thorough checking, because we want to make sure that the candidate is not just going there with what is called with something with material, which is not called for. So we check them thoroughly. The geometry sets have to be completely empty, nothing written on. So the thorough checkup at the centers right now, and we expect all the centers countrywide to be doing the same thing right now to enable the candidates begin the examinations at 9 o'clock. We want to thank God that we have good weather this morning, at least for parts of Kampala. The weather is fair, and I've not heard of a place where we have rain this morning. So we are hoping and praying that the Lord will hold the heavens for us these 2 days so our learners can be able to do the examinations in a conducive environment, and also, most importantly, to enable us to deliver the papers to the various centers at the right time. And in a very special way, we would like to, as a board, we want to express our gratitude to the Uganda National Teachers Union for calling off the industrial action. Because of this, we have been able to get all the teachers that we need for invigilation and for scouting throughout the country. And we are very grateful to the teachers, to the Uganda National Teachers Union for calling off industrial action. So during the week, we were able to brief all the resource personnel that we need to help us survive this examination. So I believe all shall be well.
Yes, you said all seems well. Now, also, we are interested to know, are there any regrettable incidents so far? Have we had any areas, much as UNEB, its role is not to go after the criminals, but what is the situation in that area?
Yes, we had an unfortunate incident. Earlier in the week, we had an unfortunate incident where we had some schools that was in Hoima registering secondary school children as candidates. Quite unfortunate, and 2 of those have been apprehended, and 1 of them pleaded not guilty. So investigations are still going on. So those are the cases of impersonation that are going on. Because currently, as I said, the board has put in place some measures to deter malpractice. Like our theme is, we are embracing security and holistic assessment of learners in a dynamic environment. So we are trying to ensure that we have strong security around the examinations. We're trying to ensure that nobody gets the examination, gets their knowledge of this examination. Nobody gets to access the paper before anybody else. So we tighten our security, and because we have done that, then we find that the schools, for some reason, are trying to get all sorts of means and get involved in malpractice, and get the learners involved in malpractice, and then and get marks which are not actually their own marks, which is quite unfortunate, because now you get an S3 child to do examination for this child, able to, they're able to sustain that kind of performance.
All right.
Hello?
Yes, Jennifer, we had lost you for just a while there, but thank God you're back. Now, there is something that schools do in order to maintain their quality of performance, and this is registering candidates who are not really of their quality to other school centers for exams. Is this legal? Is it allowed?
That is something that is not allowed. It's actually done illegally, but your state challenge is you need to get involved into the administrative arrangements of the school. So we cannot go deep and we cannot go like policing every school and say abuse your students, abuse your learners or something like that. Our responsibility is for the head of that center to present to us learners whom he says are what have been with them. And according to our guidelines, for a learner to be registered in that center, it should have studied there at least for 2 consecutive terms. We expect them to have been there for first term and second term, and then by third term, at least they've been there for those terms. But yes, it's done wrongly, but it's not, you need to go on police and asking every child, have you been here for the last 2 months? Have you been here? And that kind of thing. It's quite unfortunate. Schools do that. We know they do it. But I think we don't really have a mechanism for appreciating them at that level.
All right. Now, you did talk about, in fact, you thanked God for the good weather on this day 1 of exams. But for purposes of public knowledge and information, take us through the process of having exam materials reach the centers, the exam centers, on time and untampered with, especially given that the rains are here and you just never know what Mother Nature could hold for us. But also looking at remote areas, how exactly is it handled? Give us a picture.
Okay, thank you so much. First and foremost, we have, at this level, we work with local government, and we work with the district instead in certain schools, and then the district local government district, we are the ones who are on the ground to help us manage this examination. So we have engagements with them prior to the examination. We talk with them, we discuss with them, and then we agree on the modalities. We have plan B, plan A, plan B, and then in the event that this happens, what we do. So of course there are areas where we know that they are hard to reach areas, like where in case it rains, in case there are floods or something like that. So we have special budgets for those areas, and we did have special budgets for them. So in the event that it has rained, then we make sure that they improvise and they improvise and ensure that they are able to to safeguard the candidates, especially the candidates. Like I think there's a place where we have where it's flooded, and we had to ask the heads of centers whether the local government there to move the learners to a safe place to enable them write the examination. And then in other places, we are working with the local government, and we asked them for these 2 days because the board delivers the examinations to our stations, to our police stations, to our various stations in the district. And then from there, the local government to work with the local government. So for primary reading examinations, the schools have to wait for the papers. They are delivered by security police and then the local government. So we ask them to provide us with transport as the police. So all the vehicles in the local government, the police vehicles, the vehicles at the district headquarters, and all other available resources are utilized for this purpose. So even when we have rains and heavy rains, we do request and we work with the local government to ensure that they deliver the papers safely to the center, to the various centers. Where the police just came in and delivered the papers, so that is the kind of arrangement. And to some extent, yes, it's very helpful. Where it is and where the rains are very heavy and it's unavoidable, then still the local government would improvise within their local means. That is how it works. But I just were able to deliver up to the stations because we thought maybe we would get some challenges. And in that case, even the police was ready to give us their chopper in case we needed it to deliver papers, but we did not need it. And we want to thank the Lord. So it's kind of a partnership really with all government agencies. That is what you need there, because we cannot do this on our own. So we make sure we partner with all government agencies. We partner with media partners like you. We partner with local governments to ensure that we have a successful conduct of the examination.
Now, Jennifer, let's also look at the issue of candidates who are sitting in areas where they do not have a center and they go to another school to be registered as candidates there. Now, usually have issues of coming late, issues of long distances, issues of some at the last moment having a few things to discuss or handle because they are not pupils of that particular school, but they're just using that school's center to sit. One, clarify why government and why UNEB authorizes a school to have candidates and yet they don't have a center with all the risks attached.
Thank you very much. First of all, the critical point for a school, there are different aspects really involved. In some areas, you find that there's no nearby school for the learners to access. And there's a procedure by the Minister of Education for a school to get a license. So now the issue of allowing a school to operate is not an issue of your name. It is the Ministry of Education and Sport which authorizes the operations of a school. So once we come in at the point when someone has already been authorized to operate, but we have our own guidelines on how before we issue a center. So most of the schools, you find that they've been authorized by the Ministry of Education to operate, and but as far as UNEB is concerned, they do not have the guidelines, they don't have the requirements to have a center number. So when they are authorized to operate, we cannot stop them from operating. That is the Ministry of Education. However, for us, as long as you do not have all the necessary requirements to enable you access our center, then we will not give you a center. But because you have learners, then we leave you to go ahead and they start ordinarily. Then if you need to, then you have to register them from a center which we can be able to access, which we are able to monitor, and which we have in our own database. So that is what happens. So when they register them at a center which is now, but they also inform us, and we get to. So we know that school X, we have this number of candidates who are coming from another center. But also at primary level, we have what we call teaching centers, because if you realize that there are so many primary schools, and realistically we may not be able to get all of them. So the district, instead of the schools, the local government, they group them and get what we call a teaching center. So at one center, you may find about 3 or 4 schools, or even 5, depending on the space available. When each school has its own center, but they are only sitting in the same place, in the same locality. So then we have a teaching center. So in that case, let's say if we are issuing random numbers, because every school has its own random number. When we are issuing random numbers, we ask the case, school X first stand up, and then we recognize them, identify them, and then we give them their own random number. School Y, school Z, and that kind of thing. That's what happens. But even if you do not have a center number, there's no excuse for you to be late. The examinations are time bound. By this time, right now, we expect all the learners to be at their different centers already coming to 8:30. Every learner should already have arrived. So the schools and the parents should work hand in hand with the administrators to make sure that the learners improvise ways, means of ensuring that the learners get to the centers in good time to sit for the examination.
Right, thank you very much. Now, let's bring this conversation to a close. Just quickly share what technologies or innovations UNEB is putting in place to make sure that the whole process this year, 2025, for candidates is smooth and successful.
Well, I think what we've been doing really, it's more the same thing. Of course, we keep on improving. Our database keeps on improving. Our photos keep on improving. The schools, for instance, like this year we had, and it's been going on for quite some time. The parents are able to access to confirm if their learners are registered or not, as long as they are on our portal. So as long as they are on our portal for the last 60 days before examinations begin, the parents have that opportunity. You go to the SMS, the full index number of the child, put in rank, and then space, put in full index number of the child, and then you confirm if the child is registered or not. So we do not exactly expect many people coming up and say, children were not registered. We don't expect that. But also, even at the time of the release of results, of course, but also police is eager to have the continuous assessment schedule being embedded into our system. So we keep on changing and improving the system. But the final one, I want to appeal to heads of centers. We do not expect to have learners being stopped from accessing the examinations as long as they are registered. So in case there are issues of courses, balances, and anything like that, kindly, let's put this a hold. And as the board, you inform us by the time of the release of results, we shall withhold the results. But for now, we request and we let all the learners who have registered for the examinations sit for their examinations. Please do not be a stumbling block to the destiny of these learners. This enables them to do their first examination, because it's very critical in their academic journey. We want to wish all the candidates good blessings, and we want to wish all our field personnel out there, for the disease be keen, make sure that no learner has access to the paper, and make sure that no learner will have their results cancelled simply because we are negligent. And to the scouts and to the invigilators, just a word of caution to all of you. In case malpractice takes place under your watch, the Unique Act is very clear. You are going to be apprehended under Section 26G, 26(1)G, and that is and the fine there is 20 million shillings, or in case convicted, it's 5 years, it's 10 years actually. 5 years in jail, 20 million shillings. We want to ask all the personnel who have been deployed, please make sure you do a good job.
All right, thank you very much, Jennifer, for sparing time this morning. Wishing you a lovely day.
Thank you so much. I think for reporting that, please.
All right. That was Jennifer Kalule. She is the head of communications at UNEB. She's been giving us an update on PLE. Please be reminded that UACE briefing is this Friday. So to all candidates, indeed, congratulations to you for reaching this far, and wishing you the very best of your exams. You will pass with flying colors, without a doubt, for as long as you've been putting in the work. Candidates of Heritage of Faith Primary School, Kainogoga, Ginger City, are more than ready to write their PLE papers. This is Owechitibwa Kabi Muzafalu Isabidie, the school PRO. Thank you so much for being on the show and watching. That brings us to the end of today's edition of Good Morning Uganda. Ruben is coming up next with JMU Sports, and of course Robert will be coming through with JMU Extra. Good morning.
UBC Studios in Kampala. This is Good Morning Uganda.
Pick of the day on UBC. Was brought to you by
I'll call you every day, yeah yo, baby don't know.
You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000 or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21 hash and select daily or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
Taxation is a bit complicated, and the only way to demystify it and make it as easy to understand and to comply with is through engagement. Is there a limit to the number of cars a returning citizen is bringing into Uganda? Who has paid the excise duty on this water is not the supermarket which has sold you this bottle at 1,000. It's not the business. It is the man who is going to drink this water. We strongly believe that it will only be through such constructive engagement that we'll be able to broaden our tax base and build our country together.
Buza Kamiso now. Now you can get direct answers. Send your tax-related questions via WhatsApp or SMS to 0790-141-887 and the Commissioner General of URA, John Musinguzi, will personally address them. Tune in to UBC News Tonight